Hello, Aman. Since there's no one else, no sense of saying hello, everyone. Hello, the one, the one and only. See how popular we are. That after 1 week waiting, we've got 4,000 people watch. Oh, sorry, four people close watching. Well, welcome, Aman. And says, hey, Maran, 20 mail India. Says, I heard a beep. A beep? You mean from here? Says Maran, how did dinosaurs survive without credit cards? They lived on their parents, trust account. The parents' money. Abhishek. Abhishek is here. Says, hi, Maran. Hello. Says, why it is always hard for the one partner to move on and how the other one easily get moved? Why does our brain think someday they will come back? Why our brain gives us false delusional hopes? First of all, the brain can give you anything it wants. It's your job not to believe it. It's your job to judge it. It's your job to see if it's appropriate or not. It's your job to see if it's realistic or not. You're not supposed to be sitting there and listening to whatever the hell the brain suggests. Brain is not your intellect. Brain is as dumb as your intestine. It's got a mandate to do and it's got a program, and its program is to make thoughts. That's what it does. So if you're in certain kind of a anxiety mode or concern about certain needs that you have, and of course you desire things, whether it's food or companionship, your brain creates a situation where you should be or you would be afraid of something in order to protect yourself and not allow that situation that the brain is referring to happen. And that's its way of trying to alarm you and take care of you and create some kind of a alertness to you. But it doesn't know really how to communicate, so it comes up with all creating havoc and making you really fearful that everything's going to go bad. This will not happen, and she left you because you're not good enough, and all these intrusive thoughts that it introduced. It's up to you not to believe them. It's up to you to realize that, look, this is part of the whole story of relationships. We get together, we miss certain points of attention, that what we're selecting is not really qualified in all aspects that is necessary to be compatible with you. It's just qualified in certain aesthetic ways, and it satisfies your aesthetic expectations from your partner. And in us men, when a woman is beautiful, we don't go any further than that. We think because she's beautiful, she's also have all other credentials that we hope our favorite choice of a woman would have. And we give it to her just because she's beautiful and you're turned on. You have certain kind of a physical interest towards her. So if you consider all these things and judge all things, then it's not up to your brain to tell you this and you follow it and you believe it or not. It's up to you to judge what the brain suggestions or thought process may be. Now, in regards to why one moves easier, because usually the one who chooses to break up, it's already gone through that process of thinking and getting used to moving on, being ready for it. The one who doesn't know it from the distance and gets to find out in the afternoon after he comes back from work or whatever on a coffee date, tea date, is the one that is surprised, hasn't had the time to process it or check his options. Usually the one who breaks up has already figured out something that he or she is going to follow, has created certain kind of an option for himself or herself, And so he has a plan. So it's actually feels secure because he has put some thoughts through it and has certain kind of an agenda. The one who doesn't know is the one who's going to be holding the bag and figuring out, oh, what was it? What did I do? Maybe I should have done it differently the other day. Oh, I shouldn't have complimented on another girl, or I should have said this to her, or I should have said okay to what she wanted to do. You will start blaming yourself for everything and, more. But that's all bogus. You should not do that, because it's not about what you should have done or would have done or could have done differently that she wouldn't leave. She was going to go anyhow. These are all excuses that the partner would come up with, and tries to convince you that it was your fault, because that's the whole agenda, to make sure that they move out, they leave, but they make you feel that it was your fault. That's nature of most relationship, especially if it's initiated by women. That's the usual. Not all, but most are trying to blame it on you, even though they haven't measured up. But because they're beautiful and they offer this kind of a intimacy and uh, you know sexual companionship, which is very important to us men, we kind of believe that it must be our fault. Why? Because we're being denied of one of the most sought after pleasures of life, intimacy. You know, she's leaving, so she must be right. I must not be good enough because I need something from her and she's taking it away. So that means I'm being punished. Something bad I did. That's the narrative. That's the program that you've been, it's been put into your head since childhood. Every time you did something bad, they took something away. So when something leaves or is taken away, you feel you've done something bad according to how you've been punished since childhood. You didn't get a good grade, or you were obnoxious or naughty or something. They always took something out. And if you were good, they gave you something. So you always are conditioned to think that what you get is a gain. You become more. So you should be more. You should be focused on getting more. And you should be anxious about losing something. So that's the kind of a psychological effect it's been having. So every time your girlfriend leaves, it's not just that you miss her and all the other things that the energy you put into it. You also feel bad because something is taken away, which triggers in your brain that I've been bad. I've done something bad. I'm not a good person. And this is one of the things that you want to get her back in order to feel good, to feel verified that, oh, I'm not bad anymore. She came back. So these are the things that is played in your head. And for that reason, you can't let go, because you want to justify yourself. You want to tell the world that, look, I'm not bad because she left. So let me get her back so you all know I'm good. And I would know I'm good because I'm also conditioned to think if my girlfriend leaves, I must not be good enough. Why? Because she's probably having sex with somebody else, which means, oh, he is better than me. And we're always comparing ourselves, and that becomes more and more pain, rather than thinking, look, she could measure up. Simple. So she has gone to what her level is, and you should consider yourself higher level, and you should be looking for a more qualified woman for the next relationship, or if you're woman, man, whatever your relationship is, next partner, next opportunity. So that was in a nutshell. That was a big nut, having a big nutshell. Just lots of talking. And we have Alexander Ored says, hello, Meran. Nice to meet you again here. Hello there. Don't forget, guys, I need the protocol. Age, gender, where you're tuning in from. So Alexander can say M for male or F for female. I'm just, for anybody who's here. And then age, and then the city or the country you come from. These three are important at every question that you put in, so I don't have to look for it and remind myself who you are, where you are, how old you are, what your gender is. So it would be, answers would be more appropriate. Alexander says, Alexander 34. Alexander 34 what? Alexander, I don't know if it's only used for men as a name or women, depending on which country you're from. So give me the info, throw me the bone. M or F is part of the ways that you can signify your gender, or however you signify your gender, you can just put it in there. It says, Alexander says, why bad or beautiful thoughts causes bad or good feelings for us? And sometimes we cannot control our emotions and deal with them. Well, because emotions comes from how you think, and sometimes the other way. But most often, there's an emotion behind every thought. Most thoughts, depending on what the topic is. But the brain is trapped, imprisoned, or is confused with the meanings of the words. Words have meanings. And since this brain, since 40,000 years ago, was developed enough to give us these kind of abilities, at the same time, it has created a curse, and that is ability to think and ability to speak. And since it is not our intellect, it's a machine that makes thoughts, then it makes all kinds of thoughts. If you think that the brain is the decision maker for you, if that the brain knows better than you, that the brain is you and you're the brain, you're in trouble. You will always be following something that has no intellect, but it just makes thoughts and suggestions, guesses things. That's very dangerous to live by. You have to understand there's a separation between brain, you, and thoughts, and that you are the master. You judge what the brain puts out, not that you follow what the brain puts out. That will be a very difficult life, and we all go crazy because brain has no responsibility toward anything, has no values. Brain is not going to consult with you that, hey, excuse me, what's your values on this topic? I want to make a thought. No, it just makes thoughts according to whatever has seeped through the consciousness from the mediums and all the discussions and television programs and publications and all that information about everything, products, technology, history, lifestyles, people's personal lifestyle and everything else is discussed and finds its way and comes into the consciousness, and the brain picks that up and makes thoughts about it. But it's got no responsibility. It doesn't. It's not.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Well, because you
Could you
don't
please
have to
repeat
catch that. You just shut up. That's Siri. Let me close this thingy. Okay. One moment. Interrupting. So that is why it's important for you to understand that your brain is not really is not something that you're supposed to be following. Your brain is something that you're supposed to be judging its productions, thoughts. And since 40,000 years ago, we were given this sophisticated brain, supposedly developed to the point from the reptilian brain and stem brain. Before that, we were living as like an animal, instinctively. We would run, hunt, sleep, have sex. Everything was hardwired. No questions, no confusions in anything, any aspect of our life. You knew your gender properly. You knew who you are. You know what you like, what you don't like. All instinctive, like an animal. Because there was no ability to think. There was no ability to speak. Words would not interfere with your perceptions of for your ability to observe things. Nowadays, because you can think and speak, words have meanings and they influence the perception of the brain towards whatever it is that you're observing. So in other words, most often now, you do not observe things. You do not observe life. Once you see something, there's a word that identifies that thing, like a tree. As long as I'm looking at that thing that is green and it's standing out by the shore of the ocean, I'm fine. But as soon as I put a name to it, tree, then no longer I am limited to what I'm watching. The word tree has many kinds that comes to my mind. Many kinds of trees, many kinds of plantations. All of that is now exploded in my brain and brings my attention to it, and the brain picks different thoughts according to all these things that this one word has brought to my attention. So while we have amazing capabilities because of this brain and helps us to design something, learn something, accomplish something, figure out something, and all these, but it also has the curse of not allowing us to live wholesome. Anything I look has got all kinds of other connotations coming to, because there's a word describing that thing for me now. I look at something flying in the air, well, okay, that's what I see. But when I put a word to it, it's a bird, then suddenly all kinds of other birds. No longer I'm here with this thing that I'm watching. I'm not observing, I'm judging it, I'm perceiving it, I'm thinking about all other kinds of things. Interference in the brain is so tremendous. That's why so many intrusive thoughts and negative thoughts and things that is harmful to us comes to our mind. When we didn't have this kind of brain, we didn't have intrusive thoughts. It was all just clear. There was no thoughts or name for things and words to distract us from what we are looking at. So the fact that the brain is confused and is distracted by words, it doesn't let us use it to its fullest capabilities, although there are other good things about it. So you got to be aware of what you're really dealing with, and don't take it as brain is superior to you. Brain is part of you. If you watch some of my videos that I've put together in regards to who's talking to God, in regards to observing, just put the word observe and the brain, and then you'll have these videos, and one of them is talking about the experiment that was done in, I used the experiment done in quantum physics laboratory and proven to you through that discussion that you are separate from the brain, and that there is aspects of you and the mind that the brain cannot reach, through another video called Are You or the Brain is the You? That video is very interesting. It's based on the research of Dr. Egnar in regards to Nobel Prize type of research from Dr. Speary in regards to the two hemispheres of the brain being cut, and still brain functions as whole, pretty much the same as if it wasn't cut, which is very tremendously amazing, because how could a brain function if we are the brain and brain is everything? When you cut it in half, it's supposed to stop functioning, but there's something else in us that actually makes the brain that was just cut in corpus callosum was cut. The fiber bundle that connects the two hemispheres is cut. Still, the brain functions perfectly, pretty much. Then we have Dr. Penfield, who has shown that there are different centers to stimulate, let's say, speech or sound or certain thing that you could see. If you stimulate it, maybe you could see some light, or maybe a certain kind of a sound you can create. But they couldn't locate any center for intellect. They couldn't locate any center for math. They couldn't stimulate somewhere that shows that there is an intellect center in the brain, that it can do some calculations, that it can stimulate it to start talking about politics or start doing some kind of a calculation. So they can't localize a center for an intellect. And that was amazing experiment. Then we have Dr. Owen that proved and showed a smashed up brain in an accident, which is the person is in vegetative state. Still, they could communicate with the person, even though the brain is no longer there. But there's something beyond the brain that they could actually communicate through signals, sound. And it was amazing. And then Dr. Liebert, amazing Nobel Prize level of experiment in regards to when you actually want to make a decision to do something simple, like push the button, a half a second before you actually commit to that decision, make that decision, there is a spike in the brain he showed. And the materialist starts saying, oh, look, therefore, there is nothing but matter. There is nothing but atom and void. There is nothing more than the brain, because it knows even before you want to make a decision. See, electromagnetic connections shows that When you made that decision at a certain hour, certain second, half a second before that time, there was a spike in the brain. That means brain is everything. Dr. Levitt said, hey, hold on. There's something else in here. There's another part of the experiment. He said, now I want you to choose a second when you look at the clock, choose a certain second and make a decision to push the button. And as soon as you made it, then say, oh, no, I changed my mind, veto it. In that case, they saw, yeah, when he wanted to make a decision, half a second before he made the decision, sure enough, there's electromagnetic activity in the brain because it was connected to the electromagnetic measuring device. But then when you vetoed it, the brain was not non-existence. There was no electromagnetic, no function, no activity in the brain, meaning brain is not involved. When you veto, it's amazing thing to understand that you have the power to refuse, reject, choose, select. In other words, you live by your vetoes and choices, not by whatever the brain suggests or says could have any credibility. Zero, zilch, because it has no intellect. It is just a machine that creates things, and you're conditioned since childhood to think brain is smart because you use it to do math, and you thought, oh, I'm the brain, all that. Bullshit. Anyhow, having said that, let's go to next. I hope that answers your question, Alexander. Einen Moment, bitte. Okay. So we have now Aman says, I had a girl, she was interested in me, but I had lost confidence on me, making it good chat. She drifted from me. I didn't felt attraction when she was giving attention, but when my friend asked for her, I felt jealously. Even I had no particular strong attraction at the moment when she was giving attention. Oh, okay, you learn. Next time, don't miss a chance. It's a gift. When a woman pays attention to you, it's a gift. Cherish it. Take good care of it. And, All right. Mark says, my friend's Mark protocol. Oh, there it is. Mark, 37, UK. Thank you for that. Says, my friends are putting pressure on me to get in a relationship, but I'm not where I want to be in life yet to attract the type of woman I want. They see me as lower value because I don't want to just sleep around. Been single 15 months. I just don't want a relationship yet until I start attracting the right person and figure out myself. I think you're coming up with excuses not to get into a relationship because you're afraid she's not going to work out anyhow because the other one didn't and left me. So why should I do that? You're still hung up on the old one, possibly. Are you? But anyhow, life goes on. Don't waste time. If you see someone that has got things in common with you and she likes you and you like her, and there are certain basics that you guys can have, can like about each other. Don't keep waiting, because if something better comes along for either one of you, you will notice it, and then you will talk to each other and you will sever this relationship cordially and civilly, and then you go on to possibly the one that you think it's a better choice. But at the moment, if you keep wanting to wait until the best thing is, it's like saying you're hungry, but I don't want to have this food that is available and it's really nice and clean and good quality, but I want the top quality that I'm really, really craving for. So what happens between here now and then until that top quality is found? You're gonna go hungry, yeah, malnutrition. So so why don't you come off your high horse and grow a pair, and don't be afraid of being rejected or things don't work out. That's what life is. It's a journey to learn things. Nothing is going to be perfect and ideal as you want it. And if you keep waiting for that ideal thing, and when you think you found it and you go for it and it doesn't work, then you will be really devastated because you think the ideal thing I found and it didn't work. Nothing is ideal. What do you mean ideal? Even if you find somebody ideal, the consciousness is constantly changing. So you never know. A year later, she's no longer the same person that you really fell in love with because all those things were met. So just stop trying to turn this world into a perfect world, absolute universe. It's not. It's a relative world you're living in, and come off your high horse. And there's so many amazing women out there. You're not that much better than any of them. If you're really proud of yourself, that's great, and you should be. But don't think that there's no one that could measure up to you until you found this goddess that you have here. Because if you do actually find that thing that you think is real goddess and meets all your criteria, then you're going to be slave to her, because you're going to be so scared that you do something that she might like, and you will not be yourself, and she will shit all over your head, and you will never even know it. Wouldn't bat an eye, and you would sit there, and after a while you see, wow, this is not good. This thing that was perfect, I don't want it anymore. Why? Because you actually allowed them to shit on your head. So why don't you go for some woman that is meeting most of your requirements, and you meet most of her requirements, and then grow together, learn and modify things, and try to bond on consciousness level. Because how do you know the person that you're going to attract, that you're waiting for, is actually the perfect one? Because all you can see is her physical aesthetics. In order to actually know her, you got to get to know her, spend time with her, to know her consciousness, because that's where she is. Now, these ones that you call, no, they're not really exactly what I want. How do you know? If you get to know them on consciousness level, then you might say, "Wow, my goodness, this is great," and she meets my aesthetic expectations, and at the same time, we really bond on conscious level, which is the where the relationship takes place, not on the body part. The body part is important, but still, you gotta know who she is. So how can you tell that this is the one I'm looking for? Only aesthetically, you can say, oh, she's as beautiful as I ever wanted my girlfriend to be. But then you're going to go talk to her and say, oh, full of shit. We can't even, communicate on conscious level. So don't rob yourself out of opportunities. Keep waiting and waiting and waiting. What's this waiting for? Who do you think? Who do you think is really waiting out there for you? Some women that says, I am not gonna meet any man. I am preparing myself for Mark because he knows that I am there. Come on, get off it. Go live. Go live, and your friends are right. You don't have to go pick up someone who's got nothing going for her. Someone who's responsible, educated, got a nice job, and is responsible for her life. Pulls her own weight, and she's aesthetically meets some standards, and on conscious level, you guys, hit it off. That's where it's all at. Don't fool yourself. Don't try to take revenge of the other one. Oh, I want to get somebody more beautiful so I can show her that I was good. Really, you left me for nothing. Don't be childish. Go on, live your life. Don't have to prove anything to anybody, including yourself. And Random says, Mehran, do you know about sensory motor OCD? And do you know how to deal with it? Well, I think what you're talking about is when you actually keep repeating some movement. Correct me if I'm wrong, because there are different interpretations for. I don't know if you actually mean what I mean. So once you explain to you what you do, like, is it like something that you keep moving your neck, or keep saying same word, or constantly have a problem to put something down, you keep adjusting it? Because sensory motor has different meanings. One could be what I just mentioned, and the other one could be when you're kind of afraid if you cannot pay enough attention to what it is that you want to pay attention to. So you can't fully concentrate on that, what you're supposed to be paying attention to. But you explain to me what it is that you actually mean by it. Or are you using the same kind of a interpretation that I am using? Okay, where are you guys? Okay, we have Random says 16 male living in Pakistan. I'm about to move to Canada in a month. Oh, I see. Okay. Where in Canada are you going? Candy says, I had a platonic Candy. I need the protocol. Age, gender, where you tuning in from? Alexander says, male Macedonia. Thank you for that. Lama Suleiman says, how to know if you're in love with a friend that you've known for a long time? What do you mean? How to know? That's the most obvious thing. When you keep thinking of her, when you keep wanting to see her for any excuses, when you're with her, you want to hold her hand, you want to kiss her, you have feelings for her, and you comply to pretty much anything she wants to do. Uh, you try to do all the good things you can for her. You keep the bigger fruit for her, a bigger candy or the bigger cake, piece of cake. You go out of your way to be the, cavalier, do chivalry for her. Just protect her and you pay attention to her more than you should. So, how old are you, Lama? Remember, we need to have that protocol, guys. I won't answer unless I have these information. And Abhishek says, thanks for previous answer, mail and from Sri Lanka. Thank you for that. It's been a year and a half to my breakup, and I still pray for my ex good health as she was having brain tumor. Uh-huh. Is it good to pray for them or bad? No, why should it be bad? It's always good to pray for some good things to happen to people, and there is nothing wrong with it. And we all wish her recovery and the best, and everybody should. It doesn't matter if you guys are together or not together. You always mean well for people and wish them well and go on about your business. Abhishek says, I analyze this praying for my ex is not letting me move up. So what should I do? I feel if I stop praying, something bad will happen to my ex. I just want good things for her, though she ruined my life. Well, it is not your prayer that lack of your prayer that's going to stop whatever good is about to happen for her. It's just showing your intention to yourself that you're a good person. Somehow you're afraid to be considered a bad person in the eyes of the watcher. You have created something that is watching your behavior, which that's your own thoughts. And in your own thoughts, you're trying to show that you're a good person. So you even pray for someone who, as you say, ruined your life. So you're trying to get some kind of a credit from the watcher by doing something good, but not necessarily really need to do it, and you know it because it's not really up to you. If it was up to you, you could have been praying for lots of things in the world that is going wrong, and it should have worked out fine. The good intention that you have in extending your praying for her is wonderful, but if you don't do it, nothing bad is going to happen to her. So I think you are trying to continue praying because you think that would put you in a good light with whatever it is that you think is watching you. And that means you have a selfish reason for doing that praying. It's for you to score point with whatever it is that you think is observing you. It's your own thoughts, or you think a God is looking at you or judging you. So you're trying to score a point, which is using this praying. But rest assured that she's praying more than you are, and everybody else around her is doing, and that the medical science is probably helping her, and so on. As long as you have good intentions in your heart and you pray once, that's enough. It doesn't have to be every day. Is what you think whatever is out there, the God or universe or whatever the energy is going to forget about it. So you have to keep reminding it. Hey, remember, I mean, you fix that girl there. You do once, and you have a good intention in your existence about her, good energy, and that's enough. There's nothing going to happen if you have another girlfriend, and nothing bad is going to happen if you stop praying. You've done the praying, so that means your intention has already been extended outwardly. You got the credit for it if that's what you're looking for. So you don't have to do it again, and you can still pray for her and still have a relationship, because don't you pray for your parents or your friends or loved ones and so on? Does that mean what? They would stop you from liking someone else and uh, liking other things to do or loving someone? No. You can have your prayers, and you can also have your personal life. Lama, you haven't given the protocol yet again. Remember? But anyhow, he says, I don't know, it's a he or she says, and how to stop self sabotaging every good relationship. Well, that's it. Stop doing it. You can see you want to be a better person, you'll be more generous, you'll be nicer, you'll be kinder. Watch your words, watch your mouth, watch your behavior. Try to coordinate, learn about each other's, consciousness, and what you prefer, what you don't prefer, what she prefers, what she doesn't prefer. Be cordial, become a gentleman as you should be, and then just communicate rather than trying to dominate the relationship. And so you won't sabotage. Simply say, what I'm doing, is it going to hurt my relationship? Is it going to make me look arrogant, or is it going to be make me look understanding and want to compromise and make things happen? So go for the ones that make sense. Watcher says, hello, Miran. It's been a while. I hope you have been well lately. Thank you very much, Watcher. I appreciate it. And don't forget to give me the protocol, because I don't really remember everyone's history, although I remember your name. And we have Deep Diver here is from Tehran, female 46. There's my hot girl from Tehran. Says, hello, Mehran. Hello, darling. How are you? And Deep Diver says, hey, Mehran, have you ever had an inner knowing of something that would happen in the future, and actually it happened? Yeah, just now. I saw in the future that I will answer this question by saying, no, I don't. And here it is. No, I don't. It happened. I can't recall any. If I had, I might have. It's been a long life so far. So it's possible, but I don't specifically remember. But I know of people and friends who have this happen to them. They have this ability, and possibly I might have. I don't remember it specifically right now, but it is possible. And Watcher says, Mail 24 Toronto. Thank you very much. So good to have someone from the same neck of the woods, only way out the other side, 5 hours of flight time. Deep Diver says, I have had it several times, but doubt it every time. Whether you doubt it or not, let it see what happens. You don't have to doubt it. You don't have to believe it. Just say, okay, I had this information now. Let's see, let's see if it comes. Like you buy a lottery ticket. If the draw hasn't happened yet, you don't know if it's gonna win or not. Because if you were sure it's not gonna win, you would not buy it or you would throw it up. If you were sure that it was gonna, win, then you would start going buy a house and car and things based on this credit. You don't do neither, right? Because you don't know. You have a feeling you might, and you have a feeling you might not. So might as well you let it roll and see what happens. So same thing. You have some kind of a intuition or some kind of a permission, and you just let it. Let's see what happens. Let's see if you were right or not, rather than basing your decisions or actions on the actuality and factuality of this, this thing. Mm-hmm. Deep Diver says, I'm trying to learn to trust my inner knowings. Well, in order to trust your inner knowings, you have to create a very calm mind. Infinitely imperceptible decreasing ripples of the mind is where you can then have a better picture of the things that hasn't happened yet. Imagine a lake, which this lake is choppy and wavy. When it's choppy and wavy and not calm, stormy, choppy, wavy, then even if an object as big as moon is reflected on it, you can't tell what it is by looking at the surface of the water. You don't know if it's a broken bulb. What is it? What kind of light is it? It's all choppy. You can't tell. But if the same lake is calm water with no movements, in that specific situation, the condition of the water, surface of the water, even a dashing bird haven't yet arrived on top of the water can be seen, as its reflection can be seen in the water, because there's no distortion. It's all calm. The surface is very ready for reflection. Same thing when you be able to, through meditation and bringing down the ripples of your mind, the constant activities in the mind, calm it down, then the reflection of things that are happening or are to be happening could actually come to you a little bit earlier than the actual bird arriving on the pond to be reflected. The reflection will happen from a further distance than being right on top of uh, the lake or right in front of you happening. So that is the way pretty much you can count on your intuition in that way, by creating the environment in your brain which is infinitely decreasing ripples in a calm mind, and the reflection of things that are happening would be more clear, so you make a better judgment about what is happening, and better judgment brings better results, better reaction, better solutions, and that brings better results, and that brings I guess more happiness in some ways. So that's what I have to say about that. Watches as I hear that BC and the West Coast has been having more than a dozen forest fires. Hopefully, the fires have been out. Uh, I believe so. At least we haven't been affected so much here yet. Like a few years back, we had lots of, you know, fire, smoke, and all that blowing inwardly this way. This year we've had a bunch of fires, especially in the hot days that we had, but nothing like that yet. Deep Divers has got it. Your examples are fantastic. Then I should trust as it happens when my mind is very calm or it comes all of a sudden. Yeah, that's how, in fact, if you notice, we studied this ki, Japanese call it ki, Chinese call it chi, in university in our martial art trainings for years. And I taught that for years afterwards, I don't know, 35 years or so. And one of the reasons that Star Wars movies were very dear to my heart was because that was some kind of a visual way for us to see what we were being taught in the martial arts, which was invisible, and we were doing experiments with it. So, pretty much when you're calm and that you're one with that force, one with that energy, it's like you become one with the rest of the energy. You're part of that, you're connecting to it. So, things become a little bit more easier to perceive rather than waiting for it physically to happen and then perceive it. I don't want to get too spooky here. So, and we have Sarah, a female 41, says, I'm from Victoria, BC. Hello, Sarah. Welcome. It's the first time you're here, no? Says, how do you build confidence and self love? Well, everything that happens in your life around you is because you're here. That's how important you are. Nothing would have mattered as you think it matters now if you weren't here. So, the actual center, the nucleus of everything that matters in your life is because you are here. The reason for things to be important is because you give it value. So, the value of everything is because of your need, your desire, your judgment for it. Can you be more important than that? Could there be any other reason for you to love yourself? You don't need any other reason. You are the reason for everything else going around. Because if you weren't here, nothing would have mattered. That's how much you matter. Mhm. So, loving yourself should not be difficult at all. That's the first thing. If you want to love anything else, you should first learn to love yourself. If you can't love yourself, if you can't choose the best thing for you according to your budget and abilities to eat, if you can't take the best care of yourself, you can't be doing any of that better for somebody else. First, you got to learn how to take care of yourself. Then you'll become an expert to know how to take care of others, whoever they may be in your life, depending on their level and echelon and involvement in your life. So, loving yourself is the only and the first and the most important thing that you should be doing. Because without you, you're the most important person in your life. Who is the most important person in your life? Go ahead, tell me who. Who is the most important person in your life? Everything that happens in this life is because of you, about you, for you, because of you. So you're the most important person in life. You get up in the morning. The first thing you want to do, have some tea or coffee or something to eat. Why? Because survival is most important for you. You are the one who must take care of yourself in order to be there for any other reason that you want to be here. So you're the most important person in life. Nobody cares more about you than you. Nobody can, because everybody is the most important person in their own life, because everything goes around their life because of them. So they're the most important person in their own life, and you're the most important person in your life. So why can't you love? Why shouldn't you love? You should adore yourself. Do the best thing you can do for yourself. Work hard, make money, exercise, because you love yourself. You deserve it. Eat good food, have good habits, kick out bad habits. Anything that could harm you, kick them out. Clean yourself, clear yourself, whatever it is. Associate yourself with positive people, positive environments. This is how you should take care of yourself. And the energy that you would emanate would be in line with the energy of the universe, which help things develop and grow. And so should you have the same manner, because you are part of the universe, you can also help things develop and grow. But first, you got to help yourself develop and grow. First, by loving yourself, admiring yourself, valuing yourself, respecting yourself. These are the reasons, and there's no better reason for you. All right. I hope that helps you out to ponder. So let's see. I skipped some people here, I guess. Let's go back to. We have Sagota here. It's been a long time, Sagota. Male 32 India says, I wasn't present at your live stream since long now. Yes, I know. Hope you're well. And how is your mother? Hope everything is good there. Thank you very much for asking. Mom has been in hospital for the past few days, and there was nothing wrong with her. But I don't know, since she had to, do something to, and then since then, it's been certain pain and so on. So we hope it's not related, but we're all gagged, can't even say anything. Oh, you get the drift. You get the gist of it. Anyhow, let's see, who am I missing here? Candy, we did, Lama, Abhishek. Julio. Julio Acevedo, huh? Correct? Am I saying it right? Says, hello, sir. Hello, Julio. Remember, we need age, gender, where you're tuning in from. Dhiraj Kumar says, hello, Meran. What are your views on God, or do you believe in God? Yes, I believe. But perhaps not in the text version of it, that there's someone who's watching us out there, but in the form of the universal organization and intellect that helps things grow and develop. There's an energy, there's an intellect, and that same way that planets have certain orbit so they won't crush, certain way that the atoms are formed in such a way that they create what is around us. These energies, and we're all made out of this energy of the universe. So the universe, what the material has made the universe, and what's made me, it's all energy, and I am part of it. So in that sense, that energy that is actually helping everything grow and develop, some people call it God, some people call it nature, some people call it universe, But there is something. There is something, because nothing can come from nothing. I mean, like in counting number one and in counting numbers, you always start from one. You can't say 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 equals 1. It never becomes 1. And if you're half one, half of one is half, and the half. It never becomes 0. There's always something. That something must be there. So what do you want to call that? The originator, creator, whatever it is, part of the whole thing. So there is something, but how and to name it, different names. Let's put it this way. Sarah says, I think this ego is hurt. Explain more, Sarah. I am not quite clear. The jealous guy? I don't get it. I don't get the question, Sarah. Says, I think this ego is hurt. The jealous guy, it becomes like a competition. Okay. I'm not clear. Column says, hi, Mehran, 26 years old from UK. It's hard when I can feel the thoughts at the back of my mind. When you think of something, there is a feeling to it, and the brain makes your body react to that thought in the form of feeling. So why are you so at your neck trying to make sense of all these thoughts? Why don't you understand that all you have to be concerned about is when you jump in the ocean, to swim your path to go to where you want to go. You can't be constantly thinking, oh, what is this debris here? What is that fish doing here? What's the meaning of that shark there? What's the meaning of that shit there? What's the meaning of that little debris there? What's the meaning of the moving of the wave? Why is the sand down there is this color? You cannot be worried about all the shit that is happening around you or happening in your head and trying to make sense of every one of them. Let them be. Just like you let everything else be in the ocean when you're swimming. You got to focus on your swimming, not on what thing is out there or not out there. Why is it there? And so on. You will never get anywhere. You will always be distracted. And you will end up paying more attention to the shit that is you're about to pass it than where you're supposed to be directing your efforts to get to. Stop worrying about thoughts. Thoughts have no credibility. Thoughts do not represent you. Brain doesn't represent you. Watch the goddamn videos that I have put out there and learn from them. Educate yourself. Don't come back with the same shit that is in your head after watching all those videos. They're there to create a pondering in you, not to watch them and then go back to your own thinking. Understand, you're not the brain. Brain is not you. You are you. Brain was added to you 40,000 years ago. After millions of years, you live without this brain. So the brain is an apparatus, is added to you. How could something that has been added to you to be you? That you're taking your cues from this apparatus that its job is to make thoughts. It doesn't have an intellect. It just makes thoughts. And suddenly you think this that has no intellect and keeps making thoughts is actually your leader. That's nonsense. Understand this. Stop trying to interpret, what does this mean? It means something. I feel it back of my head. I feel it back of my foot. Who gives a shit? You should ignore these thoughts. Just select and roll in life by the power of your vetoes and choices, not what suggestions, thoughts, and images appear in your head and the feelings they create. Ignore. God damn it. Ignore. Column. And Philip says hi. Hello, Philip. Nova says, hey, Marin. Male 21, Florida, USA. Ah, wonderful place to be right now, especially in this whole damn charade. Says, whenever I get some bad intrusive thoughts, it completely shuts me down, forcing me to quit whatever I'm doing. I don't know how to not let the thoughts put me in a bad mood. Look, the thoughts can suggest to you, but you're the one who allowed the thought to become some kind of an actuality or not. You can walk in the street and your friend can offer you cocaine, hmm? But that's all they can do. They can offer you, talk about it, offer you, talk about it, offer you, talk about it. But you're the only one who can allow it to be accepted or walk by and let it die by the wayside. Let it never see the light of day, that suggestion in relation to you. So you should stop trying to think that the suggestion, that the thought that happens in your head, the suggestions that comes up in the form of thoughts in your head, should be considered as something that you should consider. Let the thoughts be, and they'll let you be. But as long as you go and try to make sense out of them, that's what the brain wants. Look, brain finds its security in occupation. How does it it creates this occupation? How? By getting a rise out of you, by being negative, by creating intrusive thoughts, not complimentary thoughts. If my brain tells me, hey, Mehran, you're very handsome, and if you go out, all these girls will really die to talk to you, I say, thank you very much. And that's the end of the conversation. There is no rise about it. There is no occupation for the brain. There is no data hunting. There is no communication. There is no exchange of energy. That's done. But if he tells me, hey, Mehran, you're ugly piece of shit and you're not good, no girl will like you, I said, fuck you. What are you talking about? I'm a real good, upstanding guy. So we start having a defensive mode and an argument. That's what the brain wants, because brain finds its security in occupation, in being busy. How can it create that busyness? By saying things that would cause reaction. Hmm? Brain doesn't find its security in physicality like your body does. I've mentioned that many times. You're sitting in your apartments, your limbs are here, you know everything is where they are supposed to be. Your apartment's door is locked, and you're in a good part of town. This safe physical environment will give you physical safety. But the brain doesn't find its safety and security in the same physical environment. It finds its security and safety in norm, in order of things. And when it doesn't have an order, meaning it's not busy doing something, creating something, it finds its security in busyness, occupation. When there's nothing to be occupied legitimately or be busy, it creates something busy. Negative thoughts, things that go on, things that you will go hunt and try to prove it's not true. It is true. I don't like it. Why do you, suggest this? That's obnoxious to me. This, all these, and then the more you spend time in, the better you become in allowing the brain to create these things, because now you're into the data, you're into the program, you're now entered a game with the brain. Ignore it, game will end. Anyhow, remember, you guys, you can always go on my site, mind@6truth.com, make an appointment for a chit chat on Skype, and we'll discuss what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype. For every new client that makes 1 hour appointment, I will add another appointment. I mean, another appointment. No, I will add another hour on the same appointment to make it 2 hours at the outset. So go on, check with your wallets, and come back. I have to say very clearly, because the channel is not making any money unless we advertise for it. By the way, I put some advertisements, some contract with Google to do some advertisement, but I haven't had the confirmation yet. In other words, they tried to reach me out, I tried to reach them, but we haven't, in order to start the campaign. So I need you guys to actually promote the channel any which way you can, and talk about it, share the videos, and let people know. Because look, we're here a week without having any live stream, and we're only 19 people. That number should be 1,900 people. I mean, that's what I think, unless you have a different view, that which is your views, not mine. And Jar Kumar says, male 24, India. What are your... Okay, we did that. And Stuart, male, 63, Rochester, New Hampshire. Is it New Hampshire? Am I saying it right? And he says, are we an end in ourselves? And if so, does anyone else really matter in our life? Yes, it does, because you matter. And what makes you feel good and happy depends often on many other things, and some of those other things are other people. So hence, you're not the end to yourself, because we are simply a species that we love connections. I mean, we are not snakes to have sex with ourselves and then we are perfectly self-contained. I know some of you do have that, but that's beside the point. Well, you know, what can I say? So it's Stuart, what the hell are you talking about? You're creating havoc here. Now, getting me go into the rabbit hole. All right, so yes, we are emotions. So definitely what provides that emotion is love. And one thing about us is that we can give love. And unless we give love, we don't receive love. But we need love to survive. People think that only eating, breathing, and sleeping is what you need. Eating, drinking, breathing is what you need. But you also need to sleep and to be loved. We can die not being loved. Not the fact that you got to have a lover or, you know, girlfriend or whatever your situation is, a partner. That not necessarily the only love that I'm talking about. I'm talking about having a connection with the nature, being loved by some other people because of what you offer, and being able to love some other thing, even a pet, your dog, your horse, your cat. This love is an indication of exchange of energy. That's what I mean by it, not necessarily sexual love. You could be taking care of certain plants, watering the plants, cultivating something. That energy exchange, even though it's not a human, but that energy exchange is necessary for the quality of the energy that runs into you. Listen, it's like you're cooking in the kitchen. The smoke is out from your cooking. If you don't open the windows, let this smoke go out and fresh air come in, the quality of the air will suffocate you. If you go in front of the ocean and scoop a bit of a water out of the ocean and you say, it's my water, in your eyes, it's your water. But in the eyes of the great ocean, it's part of the great ocean's water. You keep it out of the ocean long enough, it starts stinking and goes bad. In order for it to be fresh and strong and usable, you need to put it back in the ocean water to have conflux and interchange with that ocean water, with the mother load. Same thing with us. We have encased some energy in us and we say, my life. In my eyes, is my life. In the eyes of the great universe, is part of the nature's life in me. So if I keep this life, this energy, separate, meaning like the water in my hand, out of the ocean, and not have conflicts, not have exchange, not love, and not receive love, not take care of something, and not to be taken care, not having this connection with these trees and dogs and cats and horses and other people. Therefore, my energy would not be refreshed, having conflicts with the energy of the universe, because I'm not extending anything out. Love is extending energy out. And when you do that, automatically you're filled, because there is no way to put more water in a glass unless you pour some on the earth or give it to the flowers. And there's more space, so more water you can pour in, fresh ones. Same thing. You need to have conflicts between you and the universe. That's why you need to extend good things, do good things, good energy, interact with people, and meditate to have this conflux and exchange of energy happening all the time. And that's why love is one of the ways of having this exchange without knowing meditation, and having refreshed the energy that flows through you and flows through from one end of the universe to the other end of the universe, in all directions, up and down and left and right and all in between, and passes through you as well. And love is one way to have that done perfectly without even knowing how to do it. I hope that answers your question, Stuart. And thank you for your question. And Taylor, Grace is male. All right. Is that part of it? Is the rest coming this year? Lama Suleiman says it's a girl. She's 19. Thank you, Lama. Sarah says, female, 41. I'm from Victoria, BC. Oh, we talked about that. Okay, good. All right. Dawn says, male, 20, Nepal. Oh, my goodness. That's pretty far away, isn't it? Can I text my ex after 1.5 years of no contact? I just wanted to know how is her health and how she's doing. Your advice. Are you serious? There's 1.5 years passed, and you think I actually believe, or you actually believe that you want to contact her to see how she is? You haven't had a new girlfriend or new relationship, at least not at the moment. You are thinking of her, and obviously also thinking intimately about her, and you want to create a contact. You really don't necessarily want to see how she is. You want to see how she is in relation to you, and if there's any chance for you to kind of get to know each other. But I don't see any harm. If you want to text her, text her. But what's the worst thing that can happen? Say, okay, get lost, don't talk to me anymore. Okay, fine. Now you got it. If you haven't gotten the past 1.5 years that she hasn't reached out, and you think that she's hanging around like you, waiting for you to call her, well, it may be true, but I think there would have been some other signs, before 1.5 years. But looks like you don't have a girlfriend or a prospect at the moment, and therefore naturally we always think about the most recent girlfriend we had. And this is what you're doing right now. Obviously you need to have a relationship. You want to have interaction with the girl, and you don't have that. And since you constantly think about this intimacy and so on, which is a natural thing for a human being, And then, therefore, when you do keep thinking about these emotions, the most recent girlfriend always comes to mind, and that's her. And then now you think, oh, then I must be missing it. It must mean something. I gotta call her, see how she is. Maybe we can, catch up again. It may work, but it's a year and a half. Why would you think that she would actually be in the same page as you are, on the same page as you are? A year and a half, man. Move on. Year and a half, it's not no contact. It's absolutely, definitely no longer have anything to do with each other. It's a year and a half. Do you understand this? Maybe a month is no contact. A year and a half is not considered part of a no contact bullshit. It's considered a totally different era. Anyhow, I suggest you go on with your life and find a new girlfriend and forget about that, whatever it was. That was what it was, and appreciate it for what it was and learn from it, and now move on. That was the duration of that relationship. Don't have to get it back. See, you're trying to get back because your mind, your brain, you haven't given it enough mechanical process to create a new order in your life, and mind finds its security in the order of life, and you don't have it. So you constantly go into the memory because your mind wants to find security and all the things that happened, all the norm and orders still recorded in your memory. So you go in there, you feel safe. The mind feels safe. And while you're in there feeling like everything in the life is having the order that it used to have, you'll be constantly seeing her in your memory too. And then when you come out, you see, oh, she's not here. You miss her. And you think, oh, I got to call her. I got to talk to her. Just go on, find a new girlfriend. 20 years old. That's how it is. You think the world starts and ends with that one. There's a lot more amazing women out there. Go and don't limit life to this one girl. This one girl is already gone and is with so many other people, and don't even go in there. You get more and more depressed. Move on. Another girl. Watcher says 24 male Toronto. In your words, what are the fundamental elements necessary for a meaningful life? You got to be able to have exchange of positive energy with your environment. What you do should be something that you're proud of, or at least it's not harmful to others, the environments and others. You should be able to have loyalty to something, whether it's to righteousness, whether it's to someone you're responsible for, someone you love. And if that love doesn't work, doesn't mean you should now go all out to make it work. No, another love, some love. And you should have a path that what it is that you want to accomplish. And something that makes you understand your potential, that you're not just what you are. You can always strive to learn new things, and through that learning help yourself to make sense of it all. Pretty much to be able to give love, receive love, to be able to be positive and affect your society in a positive manner, community and people who are around you. Shun the negative and stay away from negative elements. And don't become a log in a river. The flow of the river takes the log anywhere, hits it to the bank and trashes and here and there, and mixes it up with anything that is on the way or on the banks of the water, on the river. Meaning the society being the river and you be the log means the society will take you wherever it wants to go, and you will not have your own brain and your own mind and your own way of deciding and analyzing and judging things. You will just be taken by the society wherever it goes, and you become a sheep. Don't be a sheep. Be a tree in the river. not a log. A tree has roots, so you must create roots, and those roots need values, and those values are based on what you allow come into your consciousness and adopt them as your foundation, how you set out to see on this journey of life. What are your values? You have to have core principles. What are my core principles? What are things that I hold sacred? What are things that I hold valuable? And if things are in line with my values, they're welcome. If they're not in line with my values, they're not welcome. So you have created the roots, and this roots keeps the tree in the river, and the water of the river will not move this tree like it moves the log. The water has to branch out around the trunk of the tree because the tree has roots. And the tree takes what it wants and it's suitable to it, nourishments from this water, and lets the other things, debris and so on, go by the wayside. That's how you want to be in life. Have roots. And those roots have standards that you need to find what those standards and values are. All right, small question, big answers, but that's as much as I can do at this juncture. Don says, thank you, Mehran. I will share your channel as best as possible. I'd appreciate that because we need it. We're gonna weather and die because look, honestly, with the quality of the contents that we have about 3,000 videos on this channel talking about relationships, breakups, movement of the mind, the psyche, energy, meditation. We talk about intrusive thoughts, repetitive thoughts, and understanding OCD and subsets of OCD. We talk about thoughts, consciousness, the relationship between the two, fear, desire, ego, mechanical process, order in life. We talk about lots of good contents here, good stuff here. But and about 3,000 videos here. Anything you can think of under the sun after breakup or about these topics that are named, we have them. We have videos on them. But it's hard to believe we're not known. We have only 23,000 subscribers. I think there's something screwy going on because I know that there are channels that they don't worth shit, and many of you, thousands of you, have told me that they don't help and they're just garbage, but they've got 800,000 subscribers. Yeah, I know there's some of them are pretty girls. I can't compete with that, but there are others that are not. They're just male, and their content is not helpful, and in many ways just nonsense. But they've got hundreds of thousands of subscribers. We don't. I don't know what's going on. I've talked to YouTube, and they keep telling me, "Oh, you got this is that, and so on." It's no. I said, "No, I think there's something screwy. I'm not getting this exposure. And why? Is it because what are we talking? We're not talking about anything, inappropriate here. We're talking about the issues of life. So I don't know what's going on really. If you can promote it, please, all of you, go ahead, do it. We need it." And the unstoppable force is Brandon, 25, male, London, black, British. I am doing a photo shoot tomorrow for dating apps. I look forward to meet new women. Is it bad to give into primal desires? Am I seeking a void dating? I don't know what void dating is, Brandon, but what's wrong with it? Yeah, take a good picture, put it up, and put up description about yourself, what you're interested, what you're not, and see what you're gonna catch. I hope it's not a disease. I hope it's a mermaid. Yeah. Mystery one, mystery. Okay. It's giving me a smile. I don't know. Okay, no protocols there as far as age, gender, where you're tuning in from. And one says you skipped my question. Oh, did I now? Okay. Let me go back. There is one here. It says, HOCD, I feel like I have forgot my libido after a long time without it, while HOCD in explanation? Yeah. As I mentioned, many times I use the same analogy as this gentleman from Ireland uses in his channel. He talks about HOCD. His name is Jesse. His channel's name is They Call Me Jesse. And he's a brilliant guy in his analogies here and there. And I've used this particular one because I find it very smart. And in regards to libido, what you're asking right now, when you are dealing with HOCD, what are you dealing with it? You're frantically trying to figure out what it is, why I feel this way, this and that, so forth. You know, your anxiety level is high, and you're bothered and frightened. It's no different than, this is how he puts it, and it's brilliant. He says it's no different than being in a pond swimming, and you notice there's a big alligator, jaws open, is about to take half of your ass, and you're frantically swimming and trying to flee because your life is in danger. And right in that tone, you ask yourself, why don't I have a hard on? Well, of course not. You're frantically trying to save your life. It's not a time for anything else to be focused on. And of course, you're not going to have a hard on. Same thing with HOCD. You're frightened and trying to flee and figure out how I can beat this. How can I get myself free from this shit that is happening in my head? And not being educated, you don't have an answer and you're trying to frantically find it. And in the meantime, when your attention is about all these anxiety and fear and illusions and things like that, dealing with all these intrusive thoughts, you're expecting to have a libido as healthy as you always had. No, it's not. It's distraction. So in other words, coming back to how I would add to it is that your libido, you're looking for it. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's as strong as ever been. It's there for you to use, but it is no different than having a show window, and through it, you're trying to see the beautiful, strong scenery of a waterfall, an energetic ocean, and waves, and trees, and activities, but it's all fogged up. It's not clean. It's got lots of statics, and it's covered. You can't see through it. What's the other side of the window? It's all there as it's always been. Same view, and it's same power and energies out there. You just have this barrier that is not clean enough for you to see it exactly as always been. Your libido has always been there, is nothing has changed in it at all. But there's statics that is covered your ability to pay attention to what makes you use your libido the way you always used. That's it. It's like you're trying to listen to a beautiful music, and you're sitting by the ocean, and the music is playing and everything is good, and this other side is the road, and suddenly you can't hear the music. And so what happened to my ears? I can't hear it. Nothing happened to your ears. There's a big ship making a big noise trying to go into the port, and the cars which coming from about half a kilometer away, where a few hundred meter away where the road is, the trucks and cars passing by, and the sound of the siren of the fire truck is going past by, and there's lots of noise happening that you cannot normally and naturally hear the music that you were perfectly clearly hearing it just 2 minutes ago. Your hearing abilities haven't gone anywhere. There's statics that doesn't let you hear what you've always been hearing. So once these statics go away, the hearing is there, the music is there, you will still feel it the same way and enjoy it the same way. As soon as you clean that window, the engagement of the view and the strong waterfall and all that beautiful scenery, it's all the nature is there. You just have to clean the window, get the statics away. So that's it. Your libido hasn't gone anywhere. It's just statics are distracting you from actually using your libido and paying attention to it the way you always did. So you need to deal with HOCD, understand, educate yourself what it is, and help your brain to be rewired through neuroplasticity, which is the way you deal and you handle, you react to these thoughts, and eventually your brain will rewire itself, and then the statics will go away, the window will clean up, and you see, wow, it's always been here. Like, Austin Powers says, hey, my mojo's always been here. It's never gone anywhere. He's been looking for it all throughout the movie. I hope that explains something for you. And Best Place 23 Male India says, I'm physically challenged due to a genetic problem and on bed rest since birth. But I think my brain thinks like a healthy person. Oh, great. I'm not able to find my purpose or what I am doing here. Sometimes I feel like I'm trapped in my body. You know, there's no way for me to understand what you're going through. But from what you said, I somehow can understand it's a challenging life. But in regards to your purpose, I want to bring to your attention, I don't know how much it worth because I'm not in your position and I don't intend to make it look like as if I understand what you're going through. But in regards to your purpose and every one of our purposes, many of us live and are looking for a purpose. What we're looking for is amusement, engagement. But the purpose has already been decided. The fact that we are here, that is our purpose. Because the fact that I am here and breathing, doing something, whatever it is, by thoughts, by action, by intention, it affects some other people, everybody else around the world without me even knowing them. And whatever they do, the fact that they breathe, that's all, let alone anything else they do. It affects me without me knowing who they are, where they are. We are energy connected. I am energy. I may be able to speak or talk or think. But before that all, I am an energy. And this energy flows throughout the universe and binds us all and everything, trees and animals and humans and oceans and everything else made out of energy. We're all connected throughout this sea of energy that we swim in. We're connected. So every one of us, regardless of where we are, what we do, is actually affecting the other one's lives because it's all woven together as one. I may be here, but my energy that passes through me, the universe that passes through me, the energy passes through me, it goes and passes through billions of others and theirs to mine. That's why it's important. Our intention, our purpose is to be able to have a positive energy that when it passes through us, it boosts like a capacitor, gives it a boost, a charge of positivity that when it goes out, it affects the others as it touches, it passes through them in a positive way, help them in one way or another that they need it and we don't know what they need and they may not know it. But we supplied the energy. That's the purpose of us being here. Just being here. Because look, when mom and dad decided to have procreation, to procreate us, there was 30 million other sperms created. Out of those 30 million sperms, I succeeded that night. Maybe it wasn't night, but who knows? And you succeeded over 30 million other sperms. Is it 30 million or 300 million? Lots of millions. That means something. That means I am, you are, as devastating as our situations may be, still have been born as chosen one. It could be any one of those other 30 or 300 million sperms. But it was us. That's the purpose. There is a purpose beyond me. I don't know why I'm here. I'm here doing what I can, however I can. But my purpose was decided when I was the chosen one to win over and come to this earth. Be born in this shape. And when it's done, I believe my energy will not done. What is me will not done. What shall I have may not keep its shape anymore. But who I am, my consciousness, and the energy that gave me ability to make this shape do stuff will just go back to the universe as part of the whole entirety of life, of universe, of existence, of this whole thing. So pretty much I don't believe we'll ever die. And what we are here, the purpose is already chosen because we are the chosen one. And as unfortunate our situations may be in different ways, some people are born, like you said, some people go through hell while they're living, and many other challenges. I don't pretend to know what you're going through, but that's all I can say. And I hope that would be some kind of a respond to your very important question. Best places. Thank you. You're quite welcome. And one, it doesn't matter if you remember or not, you will. So don't try to say, oh, because I don't remember, then it's not the same. No, it doesn't matter. Just focus on educating yourself and getting the statics out and distractions away. Learn how to rewire your brain. Mark says, who knows? Maybe I could find my next breakup and find even more use out of your channel. Yeah, right. Yeah. But we hope for many breakups of many people around the world if this channel wants to survive, for heaven's sakes. You low lives, come here and take what you need, and then you forget about this channel. So may you break up over and over so you can come back here and keep this channel supported. Jitender Kumar says, hi, Meran, 26 male, India. I sometimes feel very disturbed. Join the club. About my ex. Oh, I see. I thought what she was doing with whom she was. I don't know why. What do you care? It's none of your business what she does. She's a free human being. Just because you were with her for a while, that doesn't give you permission to think that whatever she does is going to hurt you or affect you, or she should or she shouldn't. You can't put the control on anybody else. Just watch for your own behavior, and don't expect your ex to still feel like what? You don't have a relationship with her. She's a free woman. She can do whatever the hell she wants to do in life. Understand this, goddammit. And it will free you yourself. When you think that way, to accept that she has the right to do whatever the hell she wants to do, you will stop suffering. Because you think, oh, it's my honor. She was mine. Now what she does, somebody else with her takes away from me. These are all bullshit old way of thinking that has been put in our head, that woman is a commodity, is a material, should not be used, only be used by me. It's all garbage. It's a human being just as much as you want to have a girlfriend, she wants to have a boyfriend. You want to have sex, she wants to have sex. And that's normal. There's nothing wrong with that. How come you do it is okay? She does it is not good? So stop this bullshit and stop expecting that you bothers you what the ex is doing. None of your goddamn business. I'm saying it to you not out of hate, but out of love, because I want you to understand that you have to respect her so you can respect yourself. Otherwise, you'll always be hating her, and that hate will eat you up. Understand, she's a free human being. Why shouldn't she have a boyfriend right now, or being in bed and having sex? I know it bothers you because we're men, we feel that way. But you have to understand, whether it bothers you or not, it's her right. When you accept it's her right, it'll be easier for you to simmer down, hmm, and go on and find another relationship. She makes her own decisions. You're not responsible for her. And whatever she does is on her, not a reflection on you. It's a reflection on her. And whatever you do is on you, not a reflection on her. It's a reflection on you. So live your life cordial, strong, happy, wish her well, and go on, wish yourself well. Don't turn it into some kind of a nonsense. All right. Deep diver, that question is a live stream all on its own. I'm not going to get in there right now. And it's 1 hour 43 minutes anyhow. Another 15 minutes I want to end it. So if I start this, that's going to go for a long time. And let whoever wants to talk about that, you can go on my site, make an appointment, and pay for it, for heaven's sake, and then we'll discuss it. This is free advice. General advice is not beneficial to the channel. Anyhow, I'm in a goofy mood today, so don't mind me. And I'm hungry too, so. Nice tea. All right. Jitender Kumar says, how can anyone forget everything that one did in the past with good memories? You don't have to forget, but you're trying to hold that over the head of your girlfriend and say, how could she leave me? Well, look, that happens, and it's okay. It's part of life. Don't worry about it. Deep Diver says, hope you're not hungry. I am hungry. I'm very hungry. So, because I thought I don't need it. I wasn't feeling hungry. So I had a peach. And I said, that's good enough. But now I'm feeling it. But intermittent fasting is good for you. So I'll be stronger once I not eat. Okay. Oh. He says no. Hungry equal. Yeah, I couldn't figure it out. I thought maybe it's just a mistyping. He says no. Hangry means angry and hungry. No, I'm not hungry. I'm pissed off. So in other words, it's pissgry. I'm hungry and pissed off. Pissed off of people really not respecting and loving themselves, and constantly thinking that somebody else is better than them, and trying to follow up and to put up with all kind of things that is not within their standards, just to get some kind of a pleasure, and they sacrifice every one of their standards for pleasure, which is short-lived. And then they get into the trap of getting used to that pleasure, then forget about all the other things that that person doesn't have, and they're constantly staying in that relationship because of that things that they're used to now. Anyhow, I'm going into a rabbit hole I shouldn't be going to. So, guys, looks like we are now diminishing that as we're winding down. Got another 13 minutes. If you got anything you want to talk about, please bring it up. I'll be more than happy to chat about it. If I lost anyone's question. OO Music says, hi, I have HOCD and it got really bad at one point, to the point where I didn't get out of bed till 3 p.m. on one day. I then found out what it was, and I'd like to say thank you for helping. You're quite welcome, OO Music. Understand your psyche and become the mechanic of your own machine, because everything is happening here and nothing is happening because things happening here. This is just a virtual world, but it's so powerful that the brain doesn't understand that there's any difference between virtual and actual. To brain, virtuality is actuality. Therefore, it believes what happens in there because itself, the brain, is in a virtual world, all neurons and so on. And so its world to it is actuality. So when some thought comes in and the brain reacts to it as if it's actual, so it believes it and therefore makes the body to react to it. And because the brain is very powerful and can control the body to many extent, it makes the body react in a certain way. And that bodily reaction becomes an evidence for you that the thought is real, which is not at all. It's just the power of the mind being able to move the body and having the body react in a certain way and create an emotion. But that actually the emotion and reaction in the body is based on the virtuality, not actuality of anything. It's an illusion. But this illusion, this brain is so powerful that it can turn an illusion, believe in an illusion, and make that illusion in such a way that it believes it, therefore it makes the body react to it. It's no different than when somebody throws a baseball at you, yeah? But in fact, it does this close distance to you with the ball in his hand, and he does this, and you shadow up, you jump away, but you turn around and say the ball is in hand. He never threw it, and even if he doesn't have a ball and he just does this, you move. Why? Because the brain doesn't understand anything between virtuality and actuality. When it believes something happening here, it makes the body react, even though that what is happening is not real. And when it makes the body react, you think, oh, because the body reacted and I feel the emotion, because the brain made you feel the emotion, then it must be real. That is the problem. That is a big problem. When you separate the brain, you and thoughts, then you won't fall for these things, and you catch the brain that, hey, this reaction that or emotion that you made me feel, made the body feel, is not on the basis of the actuality of any action. It's based on your illusion, and therefore I'm not going to fall for it. Because you, the brain, is not me, and I'm not the brain. I'm not thoughts, and thought is not me. I am me, and I'm beyond the brain. There are aspects of me and the mind that the brain, you, brain, cannot reach. And that has been shown in the video that I produced in regards, and its title is, Are You or the Brain is the You? I'm going to put that link in here for the ones who haven't watched it. You can clearly see that you're not the brain, brain is not you, and you're separate from the brain, and you're beyond the brain. And so here's the link for the ones who haven't watched it. And there it is, the link. So I hope that answers your question. And who else have I missed the question from? And the Lugani says, Durud Mehran, 24M London. Durud, thank you very much. Lama Suleiman says, how to actually know you're ready for a relationship. And it's a girl, it's a female, 19 years old, KSA. KSA, where's KSA? And Lama says, virtual hug. Oh, thank you. Me too. Hug is good. You know, when you hug your friend, someone that you like, um, it brain secretes oxytocin and makes you feel good, safe, feel happy. It's very important. They say 4 hugs a day is at least what we need. I'm still looking for my first one today. So, all right, all right, all right, all right. Okay, guys, it's time for me maybe to start winding down. There is nothing here, I guess. To best balance, the best places, sir. This is Mayran, sir. I was just thinking to start learning psychology. Is there any beginner's guide or site book where I can start and which can guide me through it? Well, there are lots of psychological, uh, programs or uh, things about neuroscience that you can learn. For example, there's a channel from Dr. Huberman, and he's brilliant in his teaching, and he teaches very good, and it's on channel on YouTube. And then there's things about OCD that the famous doctors such as Dr. Philipson, Dr. Schwartz, Dr. Jan Weiner, and you can watch all these on YouTube. And of course, and there are many other books that is available. Many scholars and psychologists, psychotherapists, they can watch your videos and learn. And then, of course, there's Mr. Jiddu Krishnamurti, which is a different way of understanding the psyche than the text, the psychological way. And also, there is also my book, Me, My Psyche, and I, Me, My Psyche, and I, which gives you some kind of a introduction to the depth of the psyche based on Mr. Jiddu Krishnamurti's teachings for the past, God knows, 68 years. He's passed, he's not with us anymore, but he started teaching the movement of the psyche in the 1920s. And many of these gurus today and famous people around the world who have written books and make millions of dollars, they actually have learned it from his teachings, but they never mention his name, Mr. Jiddu Krishna Murti. If you go on my site, Mind at Sea, if you send me your if you send me your email, uh, go through my site and send me a message. Uh, there's a way you can send me a message here for free. There's no money involved. So send me a message, your email. Then I'll send you that book free of charge. I'll send you that book, and you can take a look at it. And then, of course, there are other resources on YouTube that you can enjoy. Um, Simon Nelson says, "Why is life so hard?" That's my one and only question. Is it? I guess we've made it hard. Well, what is not hard? Deep Diver says, "Kingdom of Saudi Arabia." Oh, Kingdom of Saudi. Oh, thank you for that. Thank you for that, dear. Okay. All right. KSA. And Simon Nielsen says, "How do you get away from constant comparing to others around you? Comparison really is the thief of," yeah, well, because since childhood you've been conditioned to think you're not enough. You got to be more. So you always try to be more. And they compared you since childhood with the auntie's son or, uncle's daughter, whatever your gender is. And then the schoolmaster or the teacher compared you. Oh, look, he's got a perfect A, and I give him a star, and you didn't get. You got. Why did you get this? There's always comparison in everything. Look at so and so's hair is so nicely tied. Like you should also learn how to comb your hair that way, Susan, or uh, you know, whatever the name would be. And so this comparison have become part of our level of validity, that we have to be better than somebody else in order to be good enough, than just simply be the best we can be. So the whole narrative, whole teachings and conditioning since childhood has been wrong. It's all about the conditionings we have received in our consciousness. Um, the one point says, thanks, that would be great. Sure, no problem. Just send me an email. Signs says, my ex messaged me a few weeks ago and we spoke. He told me how he got a new job and started talking about how excited he is for university. But I just didn't know why he messaged me so out of the blue. I mean, does it take so much for you to get it? Obviously, he's trying to tell you that he's doing better. Did you, were you the one who broke the relationship? Did you leave him or he left you? In any case, he's trying to say or trying to see if he has any pathway to come back, whether he left you or you left him. Um, so I don't know the situation. Maybe, you like to elaborate, or and Science Miranda says, I asked him why, and he said he just wanted to have a chit chat. I blocked him because I realized I need to move on. It's been 3 years, but I miss him. You see, I don't have the information that you have. I don't know who left who. What was the situation? I can't make really, intelligent comments on that. And she says, I hate him because he kept showing off. And for what reason? Yes, I broke the relationship. Okay, that's why. He's still got the hots for you and he's trying, or perhaps he wants to, I don't know him, I don't know you, but maybe, I don't know how the relationship was. Maybe he wants to get you back and then break up with you to kind of set the record straight for himself, because he's been probably hurt thinking that he wasn't good enough. You left him. So it's hard to know what his intention is. And she says, but he said he doesn't want me back. And he doesn't want you back. Why is he calling? He's trying to call you to say that I'm going to university, I have a good job, I'm excited about it, and I don't need you. He's actually trying to tell himself that I'm not weak anymore. I don't need her anymore. Even though she left me and he got a blow out of it, he was hit hard. So he's now trying to prove to you that I wasn't hit hard. Why? Because I got a good job and I'm excited about going to university, and therefore I have no need for you. He's communicating what he doesn't need from you. Probably. I don't know the rest of it. It's rather not so clear, and I don't intend to make that kind of assumption. Not enough information. If you like, you can go on my site, mind@sixtruth.com, make an appointment, and we'll discuss, further if you want. I don't think that's necessary, but that's as far as we can go here. Big Smoke says, Big Smoke, are you from Australia? Says, is it okay to feel special without being a narcissist? Why do you have to be a narcissist to feel special? Being a narcissist is like no different than being an asshole. I feel like I have a real talent for something, and I feel like I am really born for it, but I feel like I'm over exaggerating. Well, don't over exaggerate. Turn the exaggeration words into action. Go whatever it is you want to accomplish, then there's no longer exaggeration. It's facts. You're good at something. But being good at something and boasting about it doesn't make you any better at it. It just makes you a big mouth. Be good at it, and that speaks for itself. People will know you're great at it. And we don't have to propaganda it, you know. You have to learn to be humble. That will help you to become better at something that you're already good at. But if you think I'm really great, then you'll stop learning. You'll stop, you know, focusing on what you're good at. Um, John Smith says, "Are you a doctor? Please be truthful." I'm truthful. I'm not a doctor. Who said I'm a doctor? I don't have any medical credentials. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychotherapist. My research has been based on masters of hundreds of years ago, their teachings and their lectures, that they would gather around, that psychologists would gather around this teacher, and quantum physics professors would gather around this teacher and ask their questions in psychology. And he wasn't a doctor, he wasn't a psychologist. He learned everything inwardly. So my research is based on his teachings and based on my own experiences in life. I'm 65 years old now. I know a thing or two, experienced a thing or two, and I pondered and wrote things. And the books I've written is based on my research and learning from the masters of a couple of hundred years ago, and so on. And my own pondering of things to be able to deliver, and in coordination with whatever it is I experienced and learned and researched, and research in neuroscience, research in this and that. But I have no medical credentials. I have no uh, degree in any medical fields. I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychotherapist, and I don't pretend to be one. I've always made that clear. Whoever called me that as a compliment, I made sure I correct them. And Don Johnson says, "Hello, my name is Mike, and I am from is Destin, Florida. I'm from Florida. Okay. My ex-wife are going through a divorce. We have been talking periodically on the phone. She says she's not interested in dating anyone, but what? I don't have the rest of it. All right. Mystery says, "Are you on Twitter?" I have, but I haven't used it for God knows how long. I've never used it heavily anyhow. I am on Instagram. I have Mind Seeks is my Instagram. Mind Seeks. And Aaron Louise 16 says, "Why is it every time I notice a guy, my mind keeps telling me that I am attracted?" Male 18. You've got HOCD. So learn about it, educate yourself, and you understand how the brain is working, and then you'll be able to know what it is, and you'll deal with it. You rewire your brain. It's now, I have explained it in many videos why, and that we don't have time to do it here. Otherwise, it's like another few hours just for that. But there are videos available in two playlists that is called Intrusive Transient OCD, HOCD, Negative Thoughts. And the other one is called Intrusive OCD, HOCD Short Videos. None of them are short, but it's there. Elaborate discussions on that. And then I have links for famous psychologists, psychotherapists, such as Dr. Schwartz from neuroscience field, and Dr. Phillipson, Dr. Jan Weiner, Dr. Owens. All the links are available for you guys to experience their teachings and their findings. Sensei is here. Are you in martial arts? Is that what you chose for your screen name? Says Mehran, which way is better to treat HOCD, using medication or recovery using time? Recovery using time, understanding and educating yourself how it is, and having rewire your brain. Um, Talk to your psychologist, psychotherapist, ask their opinion, because I'm not a doctor, but this is what many great psychologists believe and say, that you must learn to rewire it rather than using medicine. Sometimes medicine could be the only way, but that's not for me to say. And the general view is you educate yourself. It's a malfunction of the signaling system in the striatum called caudate nucleus. And in order to understand it well, you got to understand the presentation of Dr. Schwartz in his presentation of experiment that in regards to neuroscience of habits. And his discussions will clear many things about OCD, which is related to caudate nucleus malfunction and prefrontal cortex, and then the rest of it. Amygdala comes in the picture, and so on. They're so involved right now. It's not, don't have enough time because we want to wind it down. Um, Aaron says, okay, thank you, Mehran. You're really helpful. My pleasure, Aaron. John Smith says, I'm trying to post the link, but it keeps getting censored. Which link? John, which link are you trying to do? What link are you trying to post? Obviously, doesn't like links. YouTube is channel live streams or comments doesn't let links if they're not YouTube links. I'm trying to post the link, but it keeps getting censored. What link? I have reported their Facebook page. Who? Who are you talking? What are you talking about? John says, I discovered your channel through a Facebook page linking people to online doctors. Really? How did that happen? And psychologist, and it said you're a medical doctor. Really? No, there's no such thing. From John Hop? What kind of a link is that? That's bullshit. Says I have reported their Facebook page. Well, email that link to me. I like to see who has decided that I have a I'm a doctor. That's a good compliment, but no, thank you. Just make sure your complaint makes it clear that it is not my request for them to put this up. Talk to them instead of reporting it to Facebook. Report it to them. Say, look, I talked to this guy and he says, no, I'm not a doctor. Yeah, we don't want that kind of stuff. Deep Diver says, I'm a PhD equal past high school with difficulty. So I appreciate people who research on their own and don't put themselves in the box of titles. Not to say certificates are bad, it's just restricting. And since they say I cannot afford therapy, so I join your stream to get help from you, which is super helpful. but also I don't know if it's me or not. But ever since HOCD started, I'm making these weird positions. Yeah, this is what HOCD does. You need to watch the videos that I have and also the links of Dr. Phillipson, Dr. Jan Rayner, and the rest of them. Educate you. This is your opportunity to become really good at something that's very important for every one of us to know how this behaves, the movement of the psyche. If you didn't have this, you would have never had the chance to learn about it. And there is a psychologist, actually, they say, first of all people who have OCD and HOCD and substance OCD, they're actually above average intelligence. That's why they go data hunting and all that. And when you come out of it by understanding it and educating yourself, you become a stronger and better and wiser and just a better version of yourself. So this is your opportunity. So don't take it so lightly. It's learn what's going on. Says, can you also give us tips on not to do during HOCD phase? Well, look, I've got hundreds of videos on this topic, so I can't go through it here. But you can go there and find on the, just put HOCD or OCD, see what comes up, or go to those two playlists that I mentioned, and you will figure it out. Let me put those playlists for you here. Here it is. So you guys might want to check these playlists for that purpose. Okay, let's see if it comes in. There it is. So I really for the two playlists you would find in one, intrusive transient OCD HOCD negative thoughts, and two, intrusive OCD HOCD short videos. Watch them, and since I'm not a psychologist, I have included the links of the known experts, psychotherapists and therapists in the description of the videos in these two playlists. Will give you the necessary information and education to enlighten you about the brain's malfunction and how to deal with it and how to retrain the brain to get back to its normal function as it was designed to behave for you. I mean, that's what I have to say. And Deep Diver says, thanks a lot, Mehran. Love your term, be your own mechanic. Now I need to put the head to rest. Goodbye for now. Goodbye, love. Take good care. And guys, it's time for me to say, to wrap it up and say, I love you all. Thank you very much for being here and giving the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. Please promote the channel and support the channel in view and sponsorship as far as, promoting it so people will know that it exists and they can get help from it and we get more exposure. I look forward to talk to you again next week or any time that somehow I feel like I gotta have a live stream. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.